What's up, guys? It's Coop with C&T Designs again. This video is one that, I really didn't plan on doing, but it's something that I think I really want to go over. So this is about, well, we're going to start with one thing. One, and this is something where I'm going to ask some people if you know more about me, or more than I do, which a lot of people do, about a battle belt setup. Now, my battle belt setup, this is an inexpensive setup, although I have spent hours in this thing training, rolling around in the dirt, AR mags, AK mags. This is where my Glock, or my P8017 lives. And I can't tell you what a lot of this is. I can tell you this is a Black Rhino holster. Class 3. So far, I love this thing. It's been great. Just if you ever get one from them, go ahead and make sure that you use the thread locker. Lock down all the screws on it. It draws beautiful. On my battle belt, of course, I have my 17 staged on my strong side. Gun's clear. So we'll just set that to the side. I hadn't thought about medical necessarily when I started this whole kind of journey into getting set up. And then watching guys, War Poet Society, Jaeger Tactical Response, just tons of guys, Skinny Medic, and I'm sorry guys, if you don't want me mentioning your names, I'm sorry. I'm a new channel. I'm trying to learn from you guys. Carry Trainer was another one. So when I started putting this battle belt together, of course, I've got a holster, rides right at hip height. Next to that holster, I have a small pouch, and I can't remember who I got it from. This holds a blade that also has a seatbelt cutter on it. It's got a window breaker on it. And it's got a rod on it, a magnesium rod or a flint that I could start a fire with. This is a MMP, not that expensive. Damn, I dropped flint. But seems to be pretty decent. The ferrous rod seems to be okay. Oh, this one also has a place on the side where you can actually use as a wrench to undo nuts and bolts. Comes out really nicely. I'm not a big fan of the serrated blades, but this is what I could find at the time when I ordered it. So that sits in a pocket on my belt. Now, next to that blade, click that back in because it's got a snap on it, I have a tourniquet stage, regular cat tourniquet, Gen 7. I think I got this from Skinny Medic side, or I might have ordered it right from Medical Outfitters. I've got it in a position where I can just snatch this thing out and it's set. Just forward of that, I've got a multi-tool. Of course, it's got screwdrivers and all kinds of things on it. I've actually used it at the range a couple times to get me out of a jam when something's happened. So that's all basically strong side, something I can reach easy. Now I can reach around with my weak hand and actually grab that tourniquet. When I look at weak side, or my left hand side, of course, I've got a space for 2 pistol mags. I've got a space for 2 either AK or AR mags, depending on what I'm running. And it's offset from the small of my back just a little bit. I have a medical kit, what people will call an IFAK. It's got another cat staged on top of it, and then it's got a rats on the side of it. The cat, as soon as I unstrap this, that cat's free. And then the kit itself, of course, I can tear off of my belt, I could throw this to somebody if I had to, or if I was injured, someone could pull this right off of my belt and treat me. Now, I hate opening this little kit because I have so much stuff inside of it. The rats that hangs out on the side, I can snatch that rats right out. And I've heard a lot about the difference between rats and cats and softies and all the other stuff. One of the reasons I have rats is rats will work. From what I've seen, I've stuck this thing on my arm and tightened it down, and it will make your fingers turn purple in no time. But also, from what I understand and research that I've done, they will work on a lot smaller limbs than a cat tourniquet. I've got children. I've got animals. I've read things about people using these on dogs and other animals where something like a cat wouldn't work. So I keep these because I know they'll work on me. I know they'll work on smaller limbs. And I've got this little pack, and I believe I got this pack from Skinny Medic. I believe that's where I ordered it. I'm going to open this thing. And the reason, I've got it packed so full of stuff, but when it comes down to it, if I open this kit, I'm not worried about getting everything back in it fast. I'm worried about what I have on hand to treat a wound, whether it was a traffic accident, a shooting, you name it. There's multiple things you can use these kits for. Even an injury in the home, hunting accident, a fall, off-roading, someone catches a limb in the leg, you name it. All the stuff can be used for multiple things other than just a shooting. This kit, which I try to keep in all my kits, I keep a headlamp. Regular white light. This one's got red light on it. It's got a strobe on it. Very inexpensive. I keep regular gauze pads in it. Alcohol pads or prep wipes. I've got Z-fold compressed gauze in here for packing wounds. And then we've got some hemorrhage control bandages, Israeli bandages. I keep a couple of those in this kit. I'm going to regret tearing all this out. Inside the kit itself, I've got scissors, I've got tweezers, I've got a set of hemostats in there, so I could possibly clamp something off, clamp a bleeder off. I've got plenty of gloves in here. I've got a couple of different sets. I've got black ones, I've got blue ones. What else do we got? Okay, so we got some Z-fold hemostatic gauze in here. We have chest seals, high vent chest seals. I've added to the kit some more sterile, non-fluffy gauze. And I thought I had a nasal pharyngeal tube in here for airway control. And I don't know why it's not in here, but that's my general kit. So I'll have to go back and I'll actually have to add in or figure out what in the world I did with my airway control. And I keep this kit so stuffed it's not even funny. But it's one of those things. This pack really is a small pack. Something that's easy to throw on my gun belt, war belt. I mean, you can call it anything you want. It really doesn't matter to me. Damn, I'm gonna fight getting this shit back in here. Now let me set this to the side because I'm gonna fight getting this back in here. So on my belt, on my gun belt, I've got I've got 3 tourniquets staged to where I can reach them easily. I can reach them with both hands. The whole pack can be torn off. Compression bandages, whole 9 yards are in there. And this stuff is not cheap, but much like this pack. So I've got a few different packs. This one stays on a plate carrier. This one stays on a plate carrier. This one rides in one of the trucks. This one's been in my wife's truck lately. And it's also the same pack that I will keep on my normal bag. It's got the Velcro on the back, or the hook and loop, whatever you want to call it. In my wife's truck, it's a single cab. There's carpet on the back of her seats. This thing pops right to it, stays right in place, so you always know where it's at. And I'll go through this kit just to kind of lay things out. So when I break this kit open, hemorrhage control, right and top, and blocking everything. So Israeli bandages. This one is a pressure bandage. What size is this thing? I think that's a 6-inch. This guy right here, also a pressure bandage. The NAR responder, that's a 6-inch bandage. I've got another pack of gloves in this kit. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of gloves that sit in here. This is something for an IV that a buddy of mine gave me. I'm not trained in IVs. That's something I've got to learn. So that kind of sits to the side. We've got scissors. This is a Benchmade tool. I could cut seat belts with that. I could cut clothing with that. That stays locked in this kit. This one, I have the nasopharyngeal tube in, and it's got the petroleum jelly right there attached to the package. I believe that came from Medical Gear Outfitters. We've got a couple of different gauze pads in here. Again, Cat 7 tourniquet, already staged. Dog-eared, which is the way you should keep them. From watching the guys that I watch, like Carry Trainer and others. That way your windlass isn't locked in. Pop that thing out. It's ready to go. Tab towards you. Yank and pull. Set the windlass. Again, very good. Practice with these. I've got some others that I've practiced with that aren't in my kits. Flipping this kit open, the second pouch in here, this is where a lot of my gauze sits. I've got some non-sterile gauze. We've got a couple of packs of Z-fold sterile gauze. Because honestly, the Z-fold gauze would be the first gauze I would go for, but if I have to continue to pack a wound, it's not going to matter at that point what kind of gauze I'm throwing in there. I just have to stop the bleeding. Triangle bandages, space blanket. I've got another cat staged in here. Shut back in. Couple of bands for doing IVs, which again, that's something that I have to learn. Another set of gloves just tucked in the side. Again, C-Locks gauze. Another set of high-fin chest seals. Again, Medical Outfitters. A lot of this stuff is coming from Medical Outfitters. A lot of this stuff is coming from Skinny Medic. He's a guy I started watching that I really like to support any chance I get. He's got his own company. He's, I believe he's an EMT. He really knows his gear. He's someone that's actually out in the field doing this stuff. So, there's a lot you can learn just from his channel. The guys, and forgive me, man, if someone ever saw this, I can't remember the company that does the medical training, the Stop the Bleed or the TCCC training for Carry Trainer. I'm almost ashamed that I can't remember those guys. Damn, my bag's open. But they put out a lot of information. They put their training online so you can see a lot of it. You can see what they're doing. I I get my family, I get my wife involved in this stuff. There's been a lot of days where we've been in the living room where we've practiced applying tourniquets to one another. There's a couple of things that I did where you can kind of practice actually wound packing, where you're packing, you're never taking your finger off the bleed, you're actually sliding and flipping the gauze in the wound. We've done that a few times. My major thing with this is, and I didn't think about it until I started following some guys, is that if I'm gonna have the equipment to put holes in something, I need to have the equipment to actually plug holes. And this could be used for any sort of traumatic event. I got a call, last year from one of my neighbors. He had a 12-foot A-frame ladder shatter underneath him. Fell, hit his head, split his head open. I just pulled one of my rigs off my plate carrier, went over to see him, of course, gloved up. I had a light where I could look to see whether his pupils were reacting. His pupils were reacting fine. They were actually constricting whenever the light hit him. I was able to go ahead and put some pressure on his head where the wound was, wrap it or put a bandage over it, something to actually put a little pressure, wrap his head with gauze, assessed him a little bit more, got him unwrapped from the ladder because he's laying on his butt in the dirt with a shattered ladder underneath him. Got him to where his wife could drive him to the hospital. That's something that can happen to anybody. That's something that, your neighbor calls and there's been some sort of accident working, and you go out and to the best of your ability, to the best of your knowledge and training, go out, do an assessment and help them out. Now, I've had some medical training. I would like to have a lot more medical training. When I do get the money, I would like to go to a lot of these guys that I follow and actually go through their classes in person to gain a better understanding of the treatments and to lock that back down. And the rest of my kits are pretty much built out the same way. And I'm going to add some stuff to them. Of course, I've got a couple more nasopharyngeal tubes here that I can put in that kit. I just don't know what in the world I did with them. But I would like to really go out and get some more medical training. If I'm still doing this whole YouTube thing, I would like to be able to actually go through and videotape going through that so that people can see it. And maybe it's like teaching or training people now that the training that I do for people. Sometimes it's easier for someone just getting into a field to explain something to another person because they're kind of near each other's level. That's why where I train, we do a lot of peer-to-peer training. As long as someone is doing it properly, they're hitting all the points they need to hit, they're being safe like they need to be, I really encourage stuff like that. Now, if I've got someone who's doing the wrong thing, they're being an idiot, they're not working off the training that I've given them, then yeah, I don't let them do stuff like that. You're not going to think you know better and pass on a bunch of bad habits to someone else. So me going through this training, maybe I can break things down a little bit different to people. And hell, maybe I can influence some people to do the same. For me right now, it's just a matter of money, guys, to be honest. If I was a cat making enough money where I had enough spare money to buy the medical, buy the guns, buy the ammo, go out and actually do a lot of the training, man, I would be doing it in a hurry. And I've tried to change some things in my own life as far as how I'm doing things. Right before all this COVID shit hit, I started focusing on trying to lose a bit of weight. I was way heavier than I am now. I can actually cram my butt down into a 33 waist and still have room enough for my carry gun, whether I'm carrying a full-size gun or whether I'm carrying a compact like I am right now. I can get away with that now. Before, I was up to about a 36. I'm coming off some bronchitis right now. I've got to get my happy butt back to the gym. Getting back in shape when you're 45 and you've been smoking since you were probably 13 ain't easy. But it's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to improve not only my knowledge of firearms, but I'm trying to improve my knowledge of medical. I've been in quite a few situations where there have been pretty serious medical emergencies around me, and I've been able to help people and get people pointed in the right direction. And my headphone's going to die in just a second if I'll pull the other one out. I've seen people go into anaphylactic shock, and been able to help people out there, and get them to medical treatment. I've had people go into seizures around me. I was actually going to go to school for diagnostic medical sonography. So I did a bunch of stuff as far as healthcare, to even go into that program before I ended up getting onto the track. But that's where some of my medical training comes from. And we went through some pretty in-depth stuff while I was going through that. Not as in-depth as I would like. But we had a really good instructor who went through a lot of stuff with us. So I'm focused on improving my medical, along with, being able to put stuff like this together and actually make it run and be reliable. This thing's run brass, steel, any kind of crappy stuff I can buy to throw in it just to check its reliability. And I've had very few issues with it. A little bit of polish, a little bit of refinement here and there. But that knowledge has to go along with this knowledge. So those are all things I'm trying to improve. And I encourage you guys, anybody who sees this, man, you try to do the same. If you can only, tourniquets are, what, $30, $32, depending on whether you're getting a cat or a rats, or buy one a month, buy one every 2 months. The compression bandages, the Israeli bandages, those things are only a couple of bucks. Spend a little cheese every once in a while and grab some. Your regular Z-fold gauze, man, that stuff's not a whole lot at all. The C-Locks gauze, that's quite a bit more expensive, but maybe you pick one up every 2 months or so and start stocking up that kit. These aren't just boo-boo kits. These are our blowout kits. These are, serious bleeding, which could happen anytime, man. We're in the woods with guns hunting. We're in the woods with guns scouting. People trip, things happen. I try to keep some medical stuff in my regular bag I carry hunting these days. I didn't do that before, not until about the last year. I've got a couple other bags that are in the trucks that have more tourniquets in them, more gauze. I think one of them's got some plastic splints and stuff in it, space blankets. And a lot of this stuff doesn't cost much to buy here and there. And you pick up a box of rounds for $30, pick up some gauze for $5, $10. And start building those kits. And if you like me and you can't get to the medical training, you've got a lot of obligations. Pay attention to these guys. Carry Trainer, War Poet puts out a lot of good stuff. James Yeager, Tactical Response. And there's a bunch of others. Skinny Medic's a hell of a dude to watch for medical. But I guess this whole video boils down to I want to expand my knowledge, and I'm encouraging you guys to expand yours. We can get out on the range, we can have fun, we can drive a gun, we can put ourselves on timers, we can get out there and sweat, roll around in the dirt. Let's focus on some medical too. There's plenty of other reasons that we could use that medical knowledge besides just a shooting. God forbid you're ever around when a mass shooting happens, or whether it's a single person shot, you name it. Could be car accidents, hunting accidents, neighbor falling off a ladder, any number of different things where this medical training could come in handy. So I'm probably going to shoot another video after this. There is one I want to do on another House bill from Mr. Al Green, and I already got a plasma cut for that, so you guys will see it again. This is House Bill 167. This is your gun show loophole ban the personal sales of firearms bill. And it's a short bill, so it shouldn't take too long, but I'm going to try to do it probably on another format. So anyway, you guys be cool, man. We'll see you in a few.